Okay, so here we are inside of Maya. Now I'm going to first of all start off, this is the tutorial on how to model a fork, but I'm going to start off by setting my project. So I'm going to come to File, go to Project window, and I'm going to create a new project in my tutorials/Maya folder. I'm going to call it dinner set, not dinner set 2, because I've already done one. And then I'll just click accept. Okay, cool. So yeah, we're going to start off by, if we hit spacebar, you can see we've got our four different views. This is our perspective view, this is our top view, this is our front view, and this is our side view. Now I've got a side image of a fork and a top image of a fork, so I'm going to want to load those images of reference in. So if I come to view, let's go to image plane, import image. I know I've got them on my desktop, so let's have a look. Yeah, this is the side view of my fork, so I'm going to click open. And you can see, if we zoom into our perspective view, you can see the image here, but I want to make it a bit bigger. So I'll scale it from the center with my scale tool. And you can see in my side view down here that we haven't got this grid going over it, so all we need to do is simply move it backwards, like so. Yeah, and now we've got the grid by here, and I'm going to just move it up a bit, so it's resting on the bottom line by there. Okay, now I need to do the same thing, but I need my top view, so I'm going to go to view, this is my top view, I'm going to go to view, image plane, import image, and let's go to, it's on my desktop, let's get the top view of a fork, awesome, and click open. Now what you may have to do, looks like I scaled mine up fairly well. You can see that actually this is a bit bigger, this fork is a bit bigger than the flat fork, so you can see I need to scale this down just a tad just to match these. Yeah, cool, now I can push it back and they're basically the same size. Okay, so I'm going to start off with a cube. So I'm just going to go ahead and create a cube, and there it is. Okay, I can zoom in, and I'm going to come into this top view now, and I'm going to get my scale tool and just start scaling this the length of the handle. So remember, W for move, E for rotate, and R for your scale, and I'm just going to scale it lengthways and then move it back like so. Okay, right, so next I want to sort of divide it up into, sort of give it some subdivisions. So I'm going to come to my mesh tools, I'm going to go on to this icon by here, the option box, and then I'll get these options on the side. Right now, if I were to click in, it just inserts one edge loop. However, I want to do multiple, so I'm going to come down to multiple edge loops, and I'm going to go with 7 should be fine. So if I click in there, you can see if we come into our perspective view, we've got these edges added all the way around, which is cool. Okay, so I'll come back into my top view, and I'm going to right click and go to vertex. So click highlight them, and now I'm just going to start scaling them in the x-axis like so, just so they kind of match the outline of the fork below. Like this, do this all the way up. It doesn't have to be bang on, but as long as you are matching that general outline like this, do it all the way up to the end, and I'm just going to bring these ones in a tad and scale them out, and don't worry, we'll get the smooth end towards the end. Actually, maybe bring them back a bit and then scale them back in. Okay, cool. And now these front ones as well. Okay, let's go into our perspective view. You can see it's a very, very thick fork handle at the moment, but don't worry, we'll be fixing that later. So I'm going to right click and the next stage really, I need to start building this part of the fork. So I want to use this face and I want to extrude it outwards. So I've got that face selected. If I go to edit mesh and then extrude, I can start pulling outwards to about there, because you can see this segment I'm just going to make it so it fits this wide part. If I were to have brought it all the way out to here, you can see we've got this little bit by here that it doesn't cover. So just bring it out to there and then come back and extrude this face again. So click extrude and drag it out to about, yeah, that's fine. May make it a little bit wider, so come to vertex mode and then scale these out a tad and move these kind of over. Yeah, that's fine. Let me scale them out a little bit. Cool. Awesome. So if we come into our perspective view, now we've got an edge by there and we've got an edge by there. So 1, 2. But we need, let's count, we need to insert some more edges because we want to pull out these prongs. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we've already got 1, 2 edges in there. Now I'm going to come to my insert edge tool, come to the option box again. We don't want 7, we want 6. So now I'm just going to insert an edge loop like so. And now I can use my extrude operation, my extrude again, and just select these faces, edit mesh, and start extruding. And bring them out like so. Okay, so if we have a look, we've got a basic kind of fork shape. However, it's way too thick. So that's what we'll have a look at first. We'll go to our object mode and just flatten it. So we'll come into the side view. So we'll put this kind of there, and then we'll just start scaling it down in the Y. Okay, cool. So now we kind of want to make sure that we get this sort of curved shape. So to do that, we'll come to vertex mode in the side view. Sort of just start moving these around like so. Just to match up the contours of this fork. Okay. Awesome. Cool. That's looking a bit better. Now we'll pull this all the way up. It doesn't matter, it's slightly longer. That's fine. But we've got the basic kind of contour in there. So now let's look in our 3D view. Yeah, it's looking a bit better. Okay. So what I'm going to do is come back to object mode, and if I hit 3 on my keyboard, you can see it's smoothed this now. So let's have a look at it inside view. So this is 1, which is back to what I was. You can see it's very blocky, and now if I hit 3, it smooths it. So we've got a nice smooth spoon. Let's have a look how it looks in the top view. Okay, we've got a bit of a blunt end. So if we come to our vertex mode, we can just drag and then shift drag. Sort of move these down a bit, scale them out, and start building this shape. So click and drag, shift, click and drag. Move these back a little bit and scale them outwards. And we just start building this sort of curve. Scale these out a tad. And then move these ones back a little. And then we've got a really nice curve. Now let's have a look from the side. I think the only thing now that we need to look at is if we look at the end of these fork prongs, these are very sharp in comparison to this. So that's because we've smoothed it. If we look at our, go back to object mode and click 1, this is what it looks like, very sort of blunt. But when we smooth it, that's what it does. So if we come to mesh tools, we want to insert an edge loop sort of towards the end to kind of make it a bit more blunt. So we'll go to our option box, and we don't want to insert multiple, because if I just click in here, you'll see it's put in 6, and I don't want 6, I just want to be putting in 1 at a time. So I'm going to come and just click equal distance from edge, and then I can click inside of here and decide where I want it to go. So if I put it very close to the end, you can see I've got a very sort of blunt end, but if I put it more kind of down here, you can see it's still fairly sharp. So you just have a look where you want to put it. I think that'll be kind of good for that one. And this one's a bit more blunt, so I'm going to come up to about maybe there, that's fine. And same with this one. And with this one, I'll just kind of come back down here. Maybe too close, maybe down here. Okay, cool. So now let's just try and nail this shape. So if we come to our vertex mode, we can shift select and start moving these across like this. And move that across. And if we just want to shift and make that a bit pointier, make it the full length. Do the same for this one. Move it across a bit. And then for this one, move it across, move it in. It's just playing with these points until you get something which you're kind of happy with. Okay, I'm fairly happy with that, I think. So I'm going to come out and look in my perspective view. Go to object mode, get rid of this. And yes, that's looking fairly decent. So if I go to show, I can turn my image planes off. And now I've got a fairly decent looking fork. So that just about does it for that tutorial. I'll go ahead, end this here, and then we'll move on to the next piece of geometry, which will be the spoon.